Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about egg donation, and this is a topic that I've been asked so many times about because this is a hugely requested video and so many of us young women are struggling with paying for college, paying for bills, and pretty much I paid off all of my college tuition with the money that I have received from my egg donations, so it has definitely helped me out. Not to mention I've helped a lot of couples conceive children, which is amazing and really just makes me feel good about the experience at the end of the day. So in order to condense this video and make it less confusing, I decided to split it up into the most frequently asked questions that I get about egg donation. So let's start off. This is a very important question that you have to answer yourself using your best judgment before you become an egg donor. You have to ask yourself, am I willing to go through a 3 to 4 week process which involves intense hormones which may have negative side effects on my body? Not a lot of people are okay with the idea that the fact that they might have their DNA running around somewhere out there in the world. But if you are like me, for example, and you can kind of disconnect yourself from that and understand that it's not really your child, it's just your DNA. You're literally donating your DNA to somebody to use, but they are raising that child from birth till they grow up. You can't be so emotionally attached to the idea that it's your child, because it's clearly not. Another thing is that you have to be between the age of 21 and I believe the max age would have to be like 32. I know some places will allow younger women, but I don't think that you are mature and ready enough to do it at the age of 18. I think you should wait until you're 21, wait until you know exactly what you want to do, and not so you're making any rash decisions at 18, because you know, one day you're going to have to live with the fact that you made the decision to donate your eggs. You can't have any past history of psychological illnesses in your family, such as muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis. If any of that runs in your family and you know it runs in your family, then don't even waste your time, because they are going to do blood work and DNA tests on you. You have to be relatively in shape. You don't have to be super skinny or super fit, but you just can't be obese or unhealthily overweight. If they see that you're a little curvy and have a little bit of extra meat on your bones, that's definitely not going to influence their decision on choosing you as an egg donor. People who are going to be looking at your profile in the egg donation database are going to be looking at things like your SAT scores, your IQ, what college you go to, what your major is, and whatever looks the most appealing on a piece of paper is going to be what grabs people's eyes and what makes them interested in possibly having you donate your eggs. A lot of people ask me, okay, so I want to be an egg donor, but where do I go? What do I do? And honestly, unless you live in Connecticut, I really can't help you with that. But I can tell you that if you just go on Google and search egg donation or fertility clinics near wherever you live, Google will be able to find places near you. If you'd like, you can go on Craigslist, and sometimes egg donation agencies put ads up on Craigslist for potential egg donors. And pretty much what you do is you go onto their website and you see what their application process is. The application process that I had to fill out was an online application, and it took me over an hour to do, and it was very intensive. It ranged from questions of what my hobbies are, what my parents look like. You're going to have to upload pictures of yourself, your family members, all of that. And if for some reason that is the different case with whatever agency that you are applying to, sometimes you may have to fill out an application and mail it in. Sometimes you'll just have to come in person and fill it out. But that was just the case with me. Once you submit your application, the agency is obviously going to have to look over it and see if they are interested in an interview with you. What happened is 2 weeks after I filled out my application, the egg donation office emailed me and wanted to interview me. So I scheduled an interview and I went in, I talked to the fertility specialist. They got a feel for who I am, what I like to do, what my hobbies are, what my talents are, what I'm doing in school. They asked about my family background, family history. After that first interview, they will ask you to come back for an ultrasound and blood work. When they do the blood work, they just want to make sure that you don't have any type of hormonal condition that will conflict with you being able to produce eggs or be able to participate in the egg donation procedure. And the ultrasound is just going to make sure that everything is okay down there. You can't really have any cysts or any weird things going on down there. I'm not a doctor, and I can't really tell you what conditions would disqualify you, but you just have to be able to reproduce. So if you have any reproductive issues, you unfortunately will not be able to do this. This is another question that I get very often that I cannot answer because it is such a difficult question to answer. It took me about a month after I got accepted into the egg donation agency to get matched with a couple, and then consecutively after that, it was every 3 to 4 months that I kept getting matched with couples. Perhaps it was the fact that I am artistic and creative and a college-educated girl. Sometimes it can take 2 months for you to get matched. Sometimes it could take a year, sometimes it can take 2 years, and some people just might never get matched. It really just depends on who's looking at your profile, what they're looking for, what kind of traits they're looking for. A lot of women who are infertile and looking at possible egg donors are going to be looking at women that closely resemble them. That depends on your geographic location and what kind of agency you are going to. I've looked this up online, and I know that because of economic statuses in different states, certain states will pay you less and certain states will pay you more. So it really just depends where you are, but typically I think it ranges from $6,000 to $10,000, nothing really less and nothing really more. The process altogether between beginning your medication and recovering takes about a month. As far as questions with the needles go, as far as how much of the medication, how to do the injections and all of that, the nurses at the clinic will tell you everything you need to know. It's not that complicated. It almost became second nature to me, and it's really relatively painless. Aside from a small pinch, it really doesn't hurt. So if I were you, I would not be worried about pain as far as the injections go, because it is relatively painless and everything will be fully and in depth explained to you by the nurses and the doctors. So that's a portion of the video that I really can't go into about, because it's something that's going to be different with everybody and with every doctor. For my surgery, they put me under completely. They gave me propofol. It makes you fall asleep. You don't remember anything, you don't feel anything, you wake up and it's as if nothing has happened. So pretty much you wake up, and before the surgery, your eggs had already gotten to critical size and are relatively large. So you do feel bloated, you do feel uncomfortable, you might have to wear yoga pants instead of jeans. After the surgery, you're actually going to be more bloated and more uncomfortable than you were before the surgery. The 3-4 days after the surgery, in my honest opinion, are the most painful and the hardest. You're usually going to be stuck in bed. You're going to have people waiting on you, taking care of you. It might be difficult for you to walk. I know that for my first egg donation, for the first 3 days, I couldn't stand up or walk upright because my stomach was so hard and so distended from my body. I couldn't breathe in all the way. I couldn't sneeze. I couldn't laugh. I was pretty much just miserably laying in bed in pain. And that will usually last 3 or 4 days. And after 4 days, you're most likely going to be back on your feet, possibly back at the gym, back at work, doing what you gotta do. I'm not gonna beat around the bush about this. It does suck after the surgery. It's not great, but it's just part of the process. As with any surgery, there's always going to be some sort of risk involved because there's anesthesia involved, because they're operating on a part of your body that has a lot of blood vessels. There are risks that are mentioned by your doctor, and if you don't feel comfortable with those risks, even if it's a less than 1% chance of happening, then I would totally not recommend egg donation for you. But that risk is the same risk as the risk that you take when you get into your car to drive to the egg donation agency, so it's not really something that influences my decision. That is totally up to you. You can choose to remain anonymous with the couple, or you can choose to be open to meeting the couple that you are donating to. I firsthand love to be able to meet the couples. It gives me more of a personal connection instead of just feeling like I'm just going to these doctor's appointments and then my eggs are being taken and then I'm never going to know what happened to them. I've just had such a positive experience with meeting all of the couples. They're all very successful, wonderful people who just can't have children, and being able to see them smile and being able to see them so happy and so thankful really just makes the whole entire process so 100% worth it. So if you've watched this entire video and you are comfortable with the idea of being an egg donor, then by all means go for it. If there are areas of doubt in your mind about possibly doing this, then I would just say think it over, really think it over. Talk to your parents and your family about it. See what they think about it. At the end of the day, it's your decision and you're going to have to live with it for the rest of your life. $10,000, $8,000, $6,000 is not going to be worth it 10 years down the line if you're going to feel like crap about donating your eggs to somebody that you have no contact with anymore. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If I left anything out or you still feel confused about something, make sure to leave your questions in the comments section below and I'll do my best to answer everybody's comments, and I'll see you in my next video.